So, if we go to we, right, not just within my own skull, but beyond, I want to just say, and I've given some examples, disconnection from self equals disconnection from other. If I'm telling my son who's whining, right, I go, oh, you're making me feel bad. This is in my head. You jerk. Now I feel better. That's a total disconnection from what's happening for him. I feel really bad about this, Al. Don't worry, it's fine. I want to tell you a story. We were on a trip in Ocean City, Maryland. It was a trip whose whole purpose was for kids with life-threatening illnesses. We were on a boat, 4 families, 4 kids. 2 of those kids were going to die, and in fact have died. 2 of them were going to live, my son and one other. This is the context. Then we go to Jolly Roger's theme park, an amusement park. The woman, Hunter's mom, he had a brain tumor, and he's one of the kids who subsequently died. She was just talking to me, and here's what I did. God, she's kind of cold. That's what I did in my head. That's called the fundamental attribution error, folks. That's attributing to her what should be explained by her circumstances. And it's not just because I'm a jerk that I did that. I am a jerk. No. It's because that's what we do. We've been trained in our culture to make attributions about people, about individuals, when it's the circumstances that are really more responsible. It's a form of violence. And I, of all people, should have known better, right? I mean, it just shows you how profound and habitual this thing is. Talk about separation. Now moving slightly to how important the environment is on our own behavior, okay? We've talked about like environmental pollutants, so it's very articulate. This is from a psychological point of view. Adverse childhood events. You're abused sexually, physically, or emotionally. You're neglected, or there's crime in the home, okay? If that happens to that person, they are 2 times likely to have heart disease, almost twice as likely to have any cancer, 10 times more likely to use injected drugs. Now, what do? We go, oh, well, they're a drug user, right? Or somebody, right? Some of us do. We go, oh, drug user, right? But what we can tell you is these people are suffering for a reason, for actually very good reasons, for preventable reasons, for environmental reasons. And in this case, it's because they had adverse childhood events. And if we were sitting in their shoes, we would be doing the same thing. You remember Milgram, his obedience studies, white lab coat, trying to shock someone who's trying to learn words? Let me just review it. I'm a teacher, I'm the subject. I come into the study and I go, okay, what am I doing here, right? Lab coat from Harvard or something like that says, you're going to teach this learner, who's really a Confederate, in another room. You're going to teach him these word pairs. Every time he gets it wrong, you're going to shock him. Zzz, okay? And there's a machine. It's all laid out here, this machine, right? And it goes from 0, no problem at all, to almost certainly fatal. It'll kill you and everybody in a 1-block radius. I mean, I'm kidding, but it's just like really bad. So what this graph is showing you is that basically 65% of the people in this study, they kept obeying the order to shock this person who they don't know, to the point where they were screaming against the wall saying, stop, I have a heart condition, stop shocking me, right? They obeyed. And what I'm showing you here is that if you want to change that behavior, you don't admonish someone to get real and get independent. What you do is you recognize their interdependence. You recognize their interdependence with the context, and you change the context. For example, if I take someone's hand and I put it on the shock plate, what are the chances of me actually shocking that person? They go way down, right? Think about modern warfare. If I got to hit somebody over the head with a rock, much harder to do than press a button miles away and kill someone with some sort of drone strike or something, right? What the point here, and look at versus mirror neurons. We are wired, if you put somebody in a brain scanner and they're watching someone else get physical pain, their neurons light up similar to the person who's actually experienced the pain. The same pain networks light up. It means we're wired for empathy, folks. We're wired to say, this person is suffering. My brain is telling me the same thing, and I know how that is. I'm suffering too. So we can either create environments that foster that and leverage it, or we can ignore it, or we can create environments that make it almost inevitable that we're going to shock someone until they're screaming and kicking a wall. Other disconnections. Syngenta sells atrazine, which is linked to breast cancer, and aromatase inhibitors used to treat breast cancer. Right? That's a disconnection. We get rid of bisphenol A or lead or whatever, right? And what about bisphenol B? Now, I just made up bisphenol B, right? But, I mean, this is the point, right? Are we going to keep doing these campaigns? The answer is yes, we should, right? But at some point, it would be nice if we started to use the precautionary principle, right? Okay. We are not gods. We are interdependent humans. That's not just enough. That's a beautiful thing. Let's not spend so much time trying to be gods, trying to think we can control everything, and more time recognizing that we're vastly and intimately interdependent with everything. I'm not just talking about other people, right? I'm talking about trees. I mean, seriously, right? They stop, I stop breathing, right? That's interdependent. So that's where we get to the big we. One planet living. Imagine.